One love, Delta9 travelers. Welcome in to the International Digital Connection. Thanks for tuning in to this live presentation where we connect internationally, locally, and we analyze very important and trending headlines from Guyana, the Diaspora, and around the world. Now, as you make your way into this connection, please and thank you, ladies and gentlemen, as we get into the presentation, you might forget. So hit the thumbs up button on your way in, help to boost this video in the algorithm so that persons all over the globe and locally will be able to stay updated with these very important and trending headlines. We're live right now on Delta9 Media. Big up to all of the frequent travelers. Big up to all of the travelers who are with us for the first time. Thanks for tuning in to this live presentation. Guess what? We're going to be hearing from the top cops because they're analyzing what's going on with the CCJ. Yeah, we're going to get some insights from the legal department. They're going to be analyzing a number of things that's going on with that. And persons internationally and locally as well will be giving their views on what's going on with these recent developments with the CCJ, plus how it relates to what's going on with the extradition process for the opposition leader and his father, right? There's a number of things connected to that, a number of things that we got to analyze. Plus, we're going to get the chance to hear from the opposition on a number of things. We're going to be hearing from the government on a number of other headlines. Trust me, a jam-packed presentation we got right now ready for you. Good night to Parisia. Thanks for being a part of this live presentation, right? Big up yourself every time. I'm going to ask that if you can hear me clearly, Delta9 travelers, drop a 9 in the comment section as we jump into these headlines coming in from the leader of the opposition.
It's like under the PPP. Today, I am on the delayed and much overpriced US 161 million Linden to Suzdijk Highway to highlight issues of cost, transparency, safety, and who is really benefiting. PPP sources said VP Jagdi and President Irfan had a major fight over who should get this contract. Jagdi favored the Chinese, and Irfan chose his close friend, Guy America. Under Forbes Burnham, the original Linden Suzdijk Highway was constructed from scratch. It was dense forest. It was built between 1966 and 1968 by an American firm, B.B. McCormick and Sons. Burnham built the highway more than 55 years ago when Guyana had nowhere near the resources we have today. Today, the PPP government is spending US 161 million to rehabilitate approximately 73 kilometers of that existing highway. This is not a new highway being carved through untouched terrain. The road.
Well, listen to this. I got to big up the opposition leader, Mr. Mohammed. You know why I got to pause and big you up right there? Because you never will hear the PPP identify the achievements of Mr. Burnham and they speak about it in a way like how the opposition leader just highlighted the fact that he was able to do so much with so little. And we can still see the benefits and we can still analyze that infrastructural development in comparison to what's going on right now. And we gotta say to ourselves, how come people back then doing better work than now? They making sense with all the advancement in technology and everything else. Big up yourself to Mr. Mohammed for being real and keeping it real. Let me get some more.
Road already exists. Much of the work involves removing the old asphalt and putting in new asphalt. Now, compare that with the Linden to Mabura Hill Road project. The Linden to Mabura project is approximately 121 kilometers long and costs 190 million US. It is nearly 50 kilometers longer, passes through more difficult terrain, and requires the transformation of what was largely slush, mud, sand, and dirt road into an asphaltic road. So how is 73 kilometers of an existing highway costing 161 million US, while 121 kilometers of slush and mud, the Mabura project, costs 190 million US? This is less than a highway project and more like highway robbery. Normally, around the world, contractors would put a markup of between 10 and 20% on projects. In Guyana, the situation is different. This is how the PPP ministers and their masters rob Guyanese and get rich. The markup is sometimes 100%. Now, for almost 2 years, commuters and residents have been forced to endure construction. Thus, poor visibility and dangerous conditions along this highway. The contract was signed by Guy America and Namalco in August 2024 with a 2-year construction period. Namalco and Guy America, they're like one family. The project should have been completed next month, September 2026, but works are now expected to continue towards the end of 2026. Barnum built the original highway in roughly 2 years. Today, with significantly more resources available to Guyana, almost 2 years have already been spent rehabilitating and reconstructing the existing highway. So every time you drive on this highway, think about how much the president and his close friend profited off this highway. The length and width of the highway, along with that amount of crusher run and asphalt, the 3,000 lights they will buy from China, and the 2 roundabouts, all those materials combined will not cost us more than 50 million US dollars.
Wow. Y'all hear we're going on right there. Clear and plain coming through from the leader of the opposition. Oh, remember, back in the days when persons used to say, no, Azruddin, as an opposition leader or as a person in politics, he can't even speak clearly. He can't even put 2 sentences together. But watch, the sentences that are being put together and the things that are being highlighted is creating uproars in Guyana, and got persons paying attention to what's going on in the political space internationally. Right? So never let people tell you what you can and can't do. As we can see, he is doing a job that, as we look at it, coming in without experience is something that we gotta watch and say, watch. The young brother, the style, is putting a lot of effort into what's going on right here. You know what I'm saying? And I've got to say again, big up to the leader of the opposition, Honorable Mr. Mohamed. Why? Because of how he just highlighted the fact that an opposing leader, the person who started the PNC, was able to do this, that, and the third with less. Something that you wouldn't normally hear coming in from persons in the PPP. They can't really do that and be real like that and analyze things in that manner. So we got to respect that realness, right? And the clarity that coming through too. Because they be saying, oh, Mohamed can't talk. Big up yourself, Joseph. Thanks for being a part of the live. Live, we're going on, buddy. Thanks for tuning in.
Who gets the remaining 111 million US dollars? This is what corruption looks like. Then there is the issue of safety. People continue to lose their lives on the Linden-Soesdijk Highway. Poor visibility, particularly at night and around ongoing construction, remains a problem. Proper lighting, signs, barriers, and traffic management must be in place throughout the construction period. And what happened to the jobs promised to our people? When this contract was signed, President Ali boasted to the residents along the highway that more than 300 jobs would be created.
But importantly, the engine of the construction will be Guyanese. This project here, the contractors are looking for 300 persons to be employed.
Those communities welcome this project, believing that they too would benefit. Now residents are complaining that Spanish-speaking and Bangladeshi nationals are being sought after to work because they want cheap labor. while Guyanese who live along the highway are being left looking on. Even at President Irfan's mega farm, he has the foreigners working there. Guyanese workers must not be reduced to spectators in their own country, while foreign labor gets the jobs that our people are capable of doing.
So we wonder why they got a problem with this thing that we call him brain drain, right? Where a lot of us finding ourselves in other parts of the world, and then we hearing all the benefits and the shortage of labor and all of that stuff that's going on in Guyana. Make it make sense. Something is not adding up. Something is adding up. Big up yourself, Patricia. Thanks for dropping insights in the comment section. You see what Patricia is saying? That is why they want to get rid of him. But he ain't going nowhere. Big up yourself, Patricia. Thanks for dropping that into the comment section. Let's stop talking and do the right thing. Big up yourself, Ronald. Thanks for being a part of the live presentation. Jania, thanks for being a live participant in this presentation that we got going on. I'm telling you, we're connecting internationally. We're analyzing these headlines. We're figuring out what's going on as we put two and two together. We just hear what the leader of the opposition highlighted right there for us, right, Junior? Now, let's jump into some more headlines because recently, same leader of the opposition, same clothes. I want to highlight something.
Of these pedestrian crosswalks.
In our last live presentation, this was one of the things that was highlighted. This crosswalk and what's going on with these open wires and them.
They are
I know who remember.
Rapidly deteriorating. Why is it that both governments, every time they go into power, they will just, if APNU did these crosswalks, the PPP can just leave them to deteriorate. It shouldn't be that way. We should build on these crosswalks. We should maintain these crosswalks. This money doesn't belong to APNU or the PPP. It belongs to the people of Guyana. Two of the crosswalks, in the evening, the lights are working just on two of them. Now, at the Eccles crosswalk, I'm calling on the embattled and the failure minister Indar to send down a team immediately. We have high voltage wires exposed, and we have two schools. The children from these schools, from the Eccles School and the Success of Elementary, they would use these crosswalks.
You see, I gotta keep it real, you know, and I got to call a spade a spade. You know why I gotta call a spade a spade? Because after all of that went down, right? Watch this. After all of that went down,
come across to the Eccles pedestrian crossing, the overhead crossing. I saw Mr. Mohamed, the opposition leader, had pointed out a few issues about it, and one of them is being the exposed wire. Well, as you guys can see, the government has properly secured the exposed wire here. This is the kind of opposition we need, that can stand up for the people, that can be there for the people, that can be on the PPP case, that can identify the issues so that the government can fix it. This is the kind of leadership we need.
That's why it's unity or else. That's why I keep highlighting it, you know, unity or else. Because a unified opposition, and we don't even got this kind of problem. Why? They're gonna got policies to put a team in charge of maintaining these things. And you're not gonna got this level of corruption that's going on to where it's causing lives. We're gonna get into what's going on with the MV Barima and all the updates connected to that, you know. Because we ain't forgetting about that, you know. We can jump into them headlines there. But I just want to make sure that I give updates on some of the things that we highlight on this live presentation. And thank you to the team and to the persons that went out and rectified this dangerous situation, which was a problem waiting to happen, right? So we're glad that the wires them get covered now. Could we deal with the maintenance? Because some of them pipe, as we could see, rat until it got a hole in it, right? And there's another issue waiting to happen. So could we maintain them, and could we use material that is best suited for tropical environments and not metal that is going to go bad so fast. This other material that could use that would last longer. Come on, man. Come on. What we doing these things for? Look how quick the fix. They needed to be highlighted. There's something that could have fixed without people got calling out certain persons. But guess what? With all that going on, right? With all that going on, persons are still highlighting these things right here. And it's important. You know why? Over here on Delta9 Media, we just try to analyze as many sides to what's going on so we could figure out what really taking place. Well, recently, critics was highlighting this.
And it's very much confused. I thought the debacle down at the CCG would have been surrounding, I get the impression from the Demerara Waves article, that it's surrounding the Mohameds. I was confused. So I called a lawyer this morning and I said, man, what's going on? I read the Demerara Waves. Explain to me from your perspective. And he said, read the release by the CCJ and then read the other stories issued by the Trinidad Express. Now, journalism in every part of the world is different as it relates to the people, because American journalists don't come here to do journalism for Guyanese. Guyanese doing journalism for Guyanese, Trinidadian doing for Trinidadian, Barbados doing for Barbadian doing for Barbados. So that is how we break down journalism across the world. And I'm giving you the context as to where the CCJ is and the debacle of the CCJ. So I'm looking at the thing and I read the article and I realize I'm looking at something and I realize if you go back in a short period of time as it relates to the history of the CCJ, recently a Guyanese has been placed at the helm of the CCJ. Well, not the helm, the president is not a Guyanese, but the president of the CCJ, but a Guyanese has been placed as one of the judges with the CCJ. And from that time, there has been a lot of hullabaloo and confusion down at the CCJ. Because the CCJ, this debacle that is being made public and giving the opinion that the CCJ could be brought in, or the CCJ judgments and decisions can be brought into disrepute as a result of the Mohameds and all that. Just after the Mohamed case, mass confusion, right? How does that work? Well, how it works goes back to Guyanese history. And why I coined the words hungry belly and low life when I looked at Guyanese actions and mannerisms, right? The hungry belly low life attitude of a Guyanese come out in the CCJ. So let me tell y'all how. The CCJ, like every other organization, it's suggesting the CCJ has an infighting. You had a problem with your wife last night at the kitchen table, and this morning talking to Lai, he said, man, this happens all about the place. But what happens, it's dealt with in a civil manner, like the emails that were shared between the justices, between the judges, saying, man, here, this is what I want. And then another judge sent an email, saying, man, I'm dissatisfied with this. But what happens is those emails will also be copied to other judges to make sure there's no surreptitious activity going on down at the CCJ. You copy this body, you say, here, this is what is expected of you, and you copy. When you send an email to somebody, you copy somebody who would have an interest in that. You might not be relating to them directly. The email goes directly to somebody who you're talking to, but it's copied to other individuals, especially at the CCJ, where the panel of judges are expected to work together on cases and decision making with the CCJ about the CCJ operations are done together, right? So when you're watching, you ask yourself, who After all these years of the CCJ operating, it's never been brought into disrepute. But suddenly, recently, the CCJ is brought into disrepute. Somebody leaked some emails. What kind of thing is this? It's like you get problem with your but this there are problems with every organization in the world, but who would be so dissatisfied? Our recent claim to fame as a result of our oil wealth, that Guyanese and other, rightfully, Jamaicans and
Court of Justice, they have, let me tell you who the members are. They have Mr. Justice Winston Anderson, who is the center of this controversy now. He's the president, he's from Jamaica. You have Madam Justice Maureen Rajnath Lee. She is from Trinidad and Tobago. You have Mr. Justice Dennis Barrow from Belize. You have Mr. Justice Peter Jamadar from Trinidad and Tobago. You have Madam Justice Chantal Onawua, I don't know if I pronounce it correctly, from Jamaica. You have Justice Chili Eboe-Osuji, he's Nigerian, Canada. And you have, I think, the latest justice on that court is Justice Arif Bulkan from Guyana. So those are the members of the CCJ. And as we said, the CCJ is Guyana's final court of appeal. So once you move your system through, you go through the magistrate court, you go through the high court, you go through the court of appeal, you go through full court. When the matter gets to the CCJ, that is the final court of appeal. But now, as we have seen with all these allegations, we're going to discuss it. One has to question the integrity of that body, given what the allegations, some of the allegations that I made. And let me say this. The fact that what we are hearing is coming out from other members of the court tells us, or should tell us, that you still have people there with integrity. You have members of that court with integrity. But somehow they're claiming that the president of the court has portrayed dictatorial tendencies.
Okay.
Before alleging that he seeks to manipulate decisions of the court. Those are serious allegations.
Okay.
And I'm sorry.
So now we're hearing more about the story. We're hearing another side to the story coming in from the top cop. We can't hear what critic was hinting at just now. Let me hear some more of the top cop highlighting so we could get a balanced perspective about what's taking place, and we as right-thinking adults could now make the proper judgment of what's taking place in our country, because this is going to have a lot of ramifications politically and socially as well in Guyana. This same situation right there that's going on.
I did not get to, I am unable to download a particular video I wanted to show this morning coming out from Trinidad. I've been trying to get it, but somehow the platform is not uploading. I'm going to try again before the end of this program. The people are complaining, and let me read something here. Oh, come on. Let me read what is being said. I want to read something somebody said. Bear with me. I got a little technical issues here now. All right, here this thing. Because one of the more scathing emails, this is what was revealed in the Trinidad Express, and I listened to it yesterday. Because yesterday morning when I got up and scanning the news and so on, I saw this article from Trinidad Express about the CCJ, and it attracted my attention. But some of you may know, some articles from some of these posts and so on, you can read or you can listen. So with this article from Trinidad Express, I listened to it. I lay there and I listened to it. And I believe what was revealed by one of the judges. Because 5 judges, the court is comprised of 6 judges, and 5 of them are complaining about the president's behavior. 5 of them are complaining about the president's behavior. 5 out of 6. 5
yeah, I read this Delta9 traveler.
So here what this is the justice Judge Eboe-Osuji is saying. In the Mohameds case, and we know we talk about the Mohammed case, decided on the 29th, where the authority to proceed issued by the Minister of Home Affairs for the extradition process in Guyana. Azruddin Mohamed and his father challenged it. And the decision was rendered on the 29th of July, right? And here what the judge is saying, this is what is revealed in an email. And before I go to it, you have to find out how Trinidad Express got the email. How Trinidad Express got the email that was exchanged among the judges in the CCJ, right? Questions to be asked and answered. So here what it says, quote, in the Mohameds case, it was stunning to hear Winston, that is the, this is Justice Eboe-Osuji, referring to the president by his foreseeing. Familiar, all them are judges. In the Mohameds case, it was stunning to hear Winston pointedly inform us that he was going to announce a decision of the court at a time and in a manner in which a clear majority of his colleagues had very strongly communicated to him as inappropriate. Let me pause there. Whatever it is saying that Justice Winston Sanders decided that he was going to communicate, he's going to announce a decision of the court. This is in the Mohammed extradition case. At a time and in a manner in which the clear majority of his colleagues had very strongly communicated to him as inappropriate. So the other member says it's inappropriate to announce the decision at the particular time. That's what it's saying. Let me go on. He added, there is, of course, a surreal problem in all of this. It is that an apex court who decides question as the final arbiter of the rule of law and democracy according to the rule of law would labor so badly under a leader that does not believe in the ethos of democracy in his own leadership. That means skating comment. Marcel, judge is telling the other judge, who is the president, he not believe in the ethos of democracy in his own leadership. In concluding his email, Justice Eboe-Osuji called for an urgent meeting of all the judges before the dispute became public. Well, it's public already. So this was an internal email. Many persons, I think all the judges were in the exchange, and somehow this thing became public. Justice Eboe-Osuji, they warned him, let me get together and let me meet before this thing become public. And somebody, I'm reading here from someone, and I share the view, because the person says, while I hold no brief for opposition leader Azruddin Mohamed, these revelations are damning to say the least. A fair trial is a fundamental legal right of every person. Hopefully, pressure will be brought to bear and President Winston Anderson will be forced to step down. Where does it end? When the confidence and trust in the court is eroded.
They were very particular about. Trinidadians are black and Indian. And you ask yourself why they treated us this way. And only now, because of our claim to fame, they're willing to overlook some shortcoming that they saw in the past. Not that it's scarring we. That is scarring we. There was something about us. Guyanese are closer to Haitians than they are to Jamaicans or Trinidadians, I'm telling you. It has to do with a mentality of a people. And it proved my point again about low life and hungry belly mannerisms. And mannerisms is an attitude. You understand? It is concerning that after a case with him, big disrepute has been brought to the CCJ. Why? There's a Guyanese judge that sits on the panel. And he go with Guyanese mannerism. Create confusion. Guyanese got a way about them. If it can't work for them, well, we broke up the thing and done. You understand? Guyanese got a way about them. And that is what you see is coming out in this CCJ debacle. It's a mentality. I could tell you I'm Guyanese. I'm Guyanese. And I used to think that way. Only with a level of maturity that came from experience of age and time has caused me to change my mindset as it relates to that. Like I am basically done, fed up. Because I am not satisfied with the benefits or rewards of what I do as a journalist. Straight up. Makes no sense to me. I got to weigh the pros and cons. So I just calculate. Why come out every day, stress yourself out for people who never learn, and then what is it? What is the benefit for me? A fight down crab in a barrels. The people who eat, even the same people that you supported, trying to pull you down. It makes no sense. It's better I deal with my private part. I'm doing well, extremely well for myself. So I have to weigh that. But then this morning, I said, buddy, you are the only body could come and explain to the people. A man from Port Kaituma called me and said, what's going on with the CCJ thing? People did not understand. And imagine having an article, an extensive article in the Demerara Waves that did not do any justice in explaining to the people. If you go across all the articles in news media in Guyana, you'd realize an attempt is being made to bring disrepute. And when you go...
So we are saying, Delta9 travelers, as we analyzing this thing, your critics say he's the only person that could come and give clarity to this situation. Well, we're listening to the angle of the situation and how it's being presented to us. Plus, we're going to hear what the top cop is saying as well as other persons. It's important that we analyze as many aspects that were going on so we could suss out what's really taking place. But as we can clearly analyze so far, something going on in the CCJ. Something going on in the CCJ. Right? 5 can't be wrong. You already top cop said. Let me listen to some more insights coming in from Mr. Paul Slow.
Sharing that post because I concur with what he said. When you don't have faith in the Apex Code, where we going? The second elected term, because the first term he wasn't elected. When that was coming to an end, they decided to challenge that. They agreed. You see all these people nasty? Gangsterism at its best. They agreed. They agreed to it. And then when the term was coming to an end, they moved to the court to challenge the constitutionality of that amendment to the Constitution that they had agreed with. The matter worked its way to the courts in Guyana. And Ian Chan, a lot of things, he's dead now, the late Ian Chan, ruled that, let me put it this way. They argued that the Constitution, the amendment meant that you cannot serve more than 2 consecutive terms. The word consecutive wasn't there, but they were inserting the word consecutive. They go to Chan, and Chan agreed with them. So Chan was actually ruled to say that Jagdeo can run again. That is what Ian Chan ruled, that Jack Dio can run again. The matter was appealed to Guyana Appeal Court, and the appeal court agreed with Chan that Jack Dio can run again. Can't remember who were the people in the appeal court at the time, but maybe I'll research that to let you know. The rule that the Jack Dio can run again. That matter went to the CCJ, Caribbean Court of Justice. And the Caribbean Court of Justice ruled in a 5-1 decision, right? That Jack Dio can run. That there's nothing about two consecutive terms. He said 2 terms. The word consecutive wasn't there. And therefore, the CCJ ruled that Jack Dio can run again. 5-1. You know who gave the one dissenting decision? You want to take a bet who gave the dissenting decision? Winston Anderson.
Here they see.
The same president of the court now. He was the man who gave a dissenting decision, basically saying that Jack Dio can run again for president. The other
hearing this. I pull it back a little bit for emphasis. It's important that persons understand that the same person in question was the only person who said yes at that time that Jack Dio could have possibly run for a 3rd term as president. Let me hear again. Big up yourself, Mr. Slow, speaking out, exposing corruption and incompetence. Right here upon YouTube. If you haven't subscribed yet, please and thank you. Make your way over to the channel. Right? Rising power to Mr. Conway and condolences to his family. Make your way over to Mr. Slow and definitely subscribe to Speaking Out, exposing corruption and incompetence. Let me hear this piece of corruption or possible incompetence was going on from since then.
The same president of the court now, he was the man who gave a dissenting decision, basically saying that Jack Dio can run again for president. The other 5 members of the court, including Justice Sanders, who was the president then, said no. It's a 6-1 decision, rather. Thank you, Mr. 6-1 decision. It was a 6-1 decision, and Anderson was a dissenting view. Six persons say Jack Dio can't run again, according to the amendment to the Constitution. 6 said. And Winston Anderson, who is now the president, who is now being accused of dictatorial management of the court and all that type of thing. He said he had a lone dissenting view that Jack Dio can run again. He had that view that Jack Dio can run again. Let me tell you all further. We had this story a few months ago, this very year, with the removal, the unceremonious removal of Justice, the acting Chancellor, Janet Cummins Edwards, removed. She went on leave. When she went on leave, Justice Madam Roxanne George moved up to act as Chancellor, and Justice Navindra Singh moved to act as Chief Justice. When Madam Cummins resumed and moved to back to her office as the acting Chancellor, Justice Roxanne George moved back to her position as acting Chief Justice, only to discover that the man who was sitting there decided me not move. Yet moving. Yet we learned that Justice Cummins, I think the president made the announcement that Justice Cummins had decided to take early retirement.
Wow.
We learned that Justice Cummins decided that she's going to take early retirement, the acting Chancellor. And people said, a lot of people, including me, said, that didn't make sense. This person was on leave.
Exactly.
Right? Person resumed to take up office. And then a day after or so after you hear the person saying that they're taking early retirement. If they wanted to take early retirement, one would suggest they would have never resumed early retirement. And it is the view of many, including me, that she was forced out from the position of acting Chancellor. And it is said that perhaps one of the reasons why she was forced out had to do with the same decision relating to the interpretation of the Constitution about valid votes. That is what was said. Do you know he was in Guyana at the time? And therefore the question is asked, did he play a role in the removal of the acting chancellor?
Powerful question. A question that definitely deserves some amount of analysis, Delta9 travelers. The chancellor, the opposition leader, and one of the country's youngest president, longest serving, high-ranking politicians, all of these people affected by this one person. We gotta pay attention to what's going on, buddy. We literally are one of the wealthiest nations in the world. We can't let people ringing we along like that. If we don't stand up and make sure that the right people is in these positions of power, it's more of this we're gonna have to expect, you know. More of this, y'all hearing all of these things and how everything is connecting. Please and thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please and thank you. Almost 500 persons are live with us right now. Take a couple of seconds. Just thumbs up the live so that persons will be able to see this presentation and be able to analyze these details of importance to our country. Please and thank you. Take a couple of seconds. It costs you nothing. That's the free way of contributing to everything that's going on right here on Delta9 Media. Listen, this person, and this is what people are saying, this is what other people are saying, you know. This is what critic is highlighting about this whole thing and then saying that he's the only person that could analyze this thing. We falling for the one at all. Greetings, you're on to Delta9 Media Live.
Good evening, Nazi Lion listeners, family. Blessed.
Big up yourself, man. Thanks for calling in, man. What's going on?
I hear what I Friday said. Open up your eyes using your third eye. Read between the lines.
Yeah.
You see? I'm going to tell you, bro. This whole thing is not about race. It's about law and order. Constitutional. And the constitutional in Guyana does not work. They might not operate by that. The constitutional only applies to certain type of people, not race and some and majority the black race. You see, but mostly certain kind of people, the people them in high places and things. Look, you see there's that thing in New York over the weekend.
Yeah.
You run anything on that?
Well, I know persons are already charged and, you know, there's a lot going into the investigation.
Yeah, but what type of charge was applied to them?
Well, I don't remember exactly all the charges.
The charges was applied not to them,
to
the captain.
To the captain.
They said he is responsible for the vessel at all time.
Yeah.
And he who have to make sure certain precaution was taken. He was charged with negligence, not murder.
Yes.
7 counts of it. The crewmen them wasn't charged. So you see the difference? So those 2 crewmen they're holding in Guyana should be released because it goes. And the captain, he have many charges because he owned the boat too.
Good.
So he's getting charged as the captain and also the owner.
Exactly.
So the captain supposed to get charged and what you name and all Adrian and them supposed to be in the court system too and be charged.
Telling you.
So Guyanese, they gotta open up the third eye because the harsh reality coming every day.
Very harsh reality, King. Harsh reality.
I hear my boy say something, and I hear people say, why Mohammed don't go in the Indian community and do what he's doing in the black community? In America, we are every politician, you know, fight for the black community. You see them at the subway in the black community. You see them here everywhere in the black community. Because Mohammed knows you don't have the Indians there. These people have a certain communication that they know. Just so goes like out in America. This is why when these guys running, you see everybody, that's when you see everybody in the black community. And you go in Manhattan, Midtown, and then you don't see them. Because everybody fights for the black vote. Because without the black vote, it helps make up whatever they have in the ethnic group.
Yeah.
And that's why they need most of the black people to help stretch with the ethnic group vote, the white vote. Same thing goes with Dagdy on them. That's why they comes in and pay black people.
Yeah.
Because the black, you can't say you win half of your own people. You understand? So, bro, Guyanese have to open up the third eye. As Bob Marley says, a natural mystic blowing through the air. You see? And if you listen carefully, you will hear.
I'm telling you.
Many more would have to suffer, many more would have to die. Don't ask me why. Things are not the way it used to be. One and all have to face reality. Bro, I thought, God, are they listening?
Yeah.
Yes.
When you analyze it in that way, you start to realize that, hey, serious times in the country, you know. Does the leak CCJ emails undermine confidence in the regional court? 91% is saying yes, 9% is saying no. We continue to analyze what's going on. Right now, big up to all the travelers that are live with us in the chat. Desiree is saying corruption. Big up yourself, Desiree. Thanks for tuning in to the live presentation. Marcia is saying Guyanese president and vice president getting money, and the money so much they don't know what to do. I'm telling you. I'm sure that that's a problem that a lot of Guyanese would love to have so much money that they don't know what to do with it, right, Marcia? That's how wealthy our nation is. But greed and corruption is pushing it to the situation where one set of people is benefiting the most and others are left in some drastic situations like what went on with the MV Barima and other things that we're going to highlight in this live presentation. Jeffrey is saying he's tuning all the way from Minneapolis, Minnesota, international flight. I see persons from Canada, persons from Minneapolis, people from East Bank, people from Pennsylvania, all over the globe be there. All over the globe, international. Greetings, Mr. Flash Garden. Thanks for being a part of the live presentation.
Yes, good evening to you and to all my black brothers and sisters in Guyana. That God is responsible with what he said, not for you guys in topic. Started fighting. I do hope my good friend, Mr. Delta9 and Mr. Nigel Hughes, because when I put the question, because I always say government change, we should walk away from CCJ, because CCJ is a business. Yami, you. You want to win a case? Give me $5 million US, and I will figure. I talk because of what they did in 2020 election. Now, when I put the question to Mr. Delta9, that if you agree with Flash Garden to walk away, that when the government change, we should walk away from CCJ. He said no. And he explained why no. I said, would you agree, Flash Garden, that we should walk away from CARICOM because of what CARICOM doing to us? Something born and died. CARICOM kicked black Guyanese and the bus. He said no. Them is our mother culture, blah, 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 blah. He said, okay. The third question they put to him, I said, would you agree, Flash Garden, that when the government change, all the male citizens in Guyana to join the army because of the problem we have with the next country, and we need more arms on deck. It is unfair. So black folks alone must fight for everyone. No. He said, Flash, it's something I have to think about. Now, before we go, I put a straight question to Mr. Nigel Hughes. And Mr. Nigel Hughes said no to all three. When I said, would you agree with God that all male Guyanese must join the army, must pass that law in parliament, because it is unfair for black people alone have to fight for the isle and fight for every people. And then these human boys are still black boys. He said, no, class, I will not agree with you with that. You see, in this life, it is unfair for black people alone. You have to represent the word unity. Unity have to represent with all 6 races in Guyana, not only black man alone. I mean, that's what you got to start nonsense. Stop living by unity and live by sacrifice and demand what belongs to you. Let me listen to the program again.
All right, thanks for calling in and for dropping those insights with us. Insights coming in from who? The elder, Mr. Garden. Now, does the leaked CCJ emails undermine the confidence of the regional court? 93% is saying yes. 7% is saying no. And then they get a smart aleck coming in the comment section telling me I should share the emails. Why would I? Right? I don't even think that that's a wise thing to do in accordance with the policies of this platform. Greetings. You're on to Delta9 Media Live.
Yeah, Delta. Yeah. So you know, Jadio is illegally the position as a vice president. He is not a vice president by the Constitution of Guyana.
Well, a lot of persons were highlighting such, a lot of persons were highlighting.
Let me tell you this. I do research, right? I didn't want to stay long when I call first. So that's what I call about. The Constitution of Guyana said that the person who does act as a vice president is the prime minister. It's not supposed to have an independent person as vice president. The person acts as a vice president under the Constitution of Guyana is the prime minister.
See that?
You see how this thing is? That's what I just said. Remember I said these guys don't work by the Constitution, bro. They just do what they want. So what is named that right there, right now, as the prime minister, he is the vice president. The prime minister is the one who acts as a vice president. Okay. That's the Constitution of Guyana. Guyanese, you have a phone, you have tablet, you have iPad, you have computer. Now in the days you have to go to one of them thing out where you used to call one computer research thing. You have the thing there right and all you are doing is watching whatever mix up they get at time. You have to start educating yourself so that when you have stand up with truth and right. And don't say you want freedom, because if you want free, you can't be free and dumb at the same time, because something wrong right there. Fight to be free and get rid of the dumb, because freedom, you cannot be free. Free up your mind. You will get through that.
Big up yourself.
I be listening.
Insights coming in from one of the frequent travelers saying, hey, it's about that time. You know what I mean? That person start looking into the details of what's going on. Eric is saying Guyanese critics claim that nobody in Guyana understands and listens when he talks, so he get off his everyday show. So what are you coming to explain today? Should we understand what you're saying today? Big point. You see, insightful commentary coming in from the very insightful chat live with us right now. Big up yourself, Eric. If all the time you're saying we don't understand it, how we understanding now? And then we're telling we know songing kind of like if the maths in when we analyze it in comparison to what the top cup is highlighting and what persons is highlighting in Trinidad and in other parts of the globe. You understand? Big up yourself and big up everybody in Nashville, Tennessee. Tuned in right now to the International Digital Connection. Persons from Trinidad as well. Charles, thanks for tuning in. Watching and listening from Trinidad. We highlighting all of these details we're going on with the CCJ, right? And how it's affecting us in Guyana, Charles. Because you hear all the implications, allegedly, connected to the person that's the head of what's going on at the CCJ, connected to voting for the possibility that our system of government wouldn't even run the way that it is running right now. He's the one sole person that vote that persons should get third, fourth, fifth, and sixth, 7, 8, 9, 10 terms as president, and something that persons are trying to re-initiate or bring back as a thing right now in Guyana, right? Then we're hearing about the chancellor and all of these other things. It's very important that we pay attention, you know. We gotta pay attention, buddy. We can't let people come with no nice dress and no highfalutin words. Big up yourself too. You know what? She does the work of the people. Honorable Guru Sami, up at university possibly, or probably retired, that did that great work of helping me to understand, hey, as a youngster, don't let nobody come with them high speech, right? The purpose of English is to communicate, and the only reason that you're looking at one speech as higher to the other is because, remember, these is the persons that conquered, and the ones that are in authority usually try to colonize persons into their way of life, language, and culture. Big up yourself. Years after, I still remember that intro lecture on the I am. Thank you. Thank you. Let me get into some more of this, because people say that we can't understand what's going on without they explaining it. But what they're explaining and showing me is helping me to realize how much attention and how much salt you gotta get in your pocket when you're listening to what they're telling you. You gotta take it with 2 pounds of salt.
There's a little row in the CCJ between judges. Human nature. Human nature. Local media, Guyanese media, take it and spin it and try to bring disrepute. People who you would normally believe in. Demerara Waves took an article. I read the article and I did not understand anything. I got the impression, I was confused firstly. And that is the intention of the article. The article was written in a confusing manner. It was written in a manner to bring disrepute to the CCJ at this time that the Mohameds did not get what they want. Look at everything else. Look at the magistrates court. Look at anybody who come up against the Mohameds. Suddenly, just after you get to issue the Mohameds, big thing that's come out about you. Mass confusion. And what assisted the Mohameds is the fact
in accordance with this argument and this conversation, we're supposed to believe that the Mohameds is able to sway 6 CCJ, 5 CCJ judges after they got a negative judgment. So why didn't they sway them before the judgment? Why didn't they sway them so that they could have got a positive judgment to let it stay remain and vote that is a bias? Why they didn't get a judgment that said that it was a bias on the side of the government and everything went on their side of the judgment that they would have liked to see? Why they gonna wait till after for persuade and for do all of these, pull all of these strings? If they could have pulled a string, it makes sense to pull a string before so you could get a favorable judgment. We all think Delta9 travelers. Guys are trying for suss out this thing and we analyzing it together, you know. But somehow, you know, there's a lot of interesting things going on with the CCJ that we gotta pay attention to.
That a Guyanese judge, who you think a leak? You think a Trinidadian a leak? Look at the history of the CCJ. Look at the history of the CCJ. How they have operated over the years.
We did. Top Cop just highlight some of the history of the CCJ and how they operate over time.
A principled organization. One Guyanese go. A Guyanese with a mentality from the PNC era. Well, here what now? If we don't get over, broke up the baby pack. You know what's the debacle? One judge is saying, man, you can't tell me about what we're in. Yes, African wear. One judge was removed from a panel. The CCJ stated this judge was removed from a panel because of unsuiting attire. African wear is a closed issue. It's not a law. The instance of law issue. One man said, man, you can't remove me from my clothes. I think you're removing me for something else and using it as clothes. Totally different thing. Not a Guyanese. But what happened? A Guyanese there in the email thread, seeing everything going on. Opportunistically, like Guyanese, don't get what they want. Now to politics, that everything is politics again. You can't get an unbiased opinion from anybody in Guyana without infusing politics and race. Nobody's willing to be honest and say, man, you're a black man, but the PPP they're doing reasonably well. Nobody is willing to be honest and say, yo, the PPP can't do better when it's crab in a barrel country. You believe when Jagdeo go, when Jagdeo went to Linden.
But they could do better. And I think got nothing to do with no crab in a barrel system and country and all of that. When persons pointing out a lot of the things, a lot of the shortcomings, a lot of the inadequacies of what's taking place with the infrastructure, of what's taking place with the way that persons is getting these contracts, right? And not fulfilling the contracts. There's a number of things that persons is highlighting, you know, that if they taken serious, they would change. Greetings, you're on to Delta9 Media Line.
Yeah, right. You must try walk himself back in play, bro. He's trying to walk himself back in play. Remember, you know, they threw him under the bus and left him because of the pump station and the money that he took and went and set the operation. Okay. So he's coming now, walking himself back, like he said, I'm walking my way back to you there. You understand? So that's what he's doing. He's now coming to speak up on their behalf.
Yeah.
But they don't want nothing to do with it.
I'm telling you.
Yo, it's that them man, they have no dignity. They have no shame. You see? Because when he coming over Linden, what does you be telling them for? What does you ever care about Linden? When do you ever care about Linden? The people that right, Mohamed and the United Opposition, they all them right to go there with the Linden people and face you. Because why you coming and tell us dreams? Before you come and start, let me see some bulldozer, some road repair machine, come in and start dig up the road. That's it. So we want, you know.
Yeah.
Some people like them is telling you to buy the PPP dream. Bro, it's time. Yeah. Just like James Bond coming saying that, oh, Ali should leave the thing that the man on development. Why you want to talk telling a Indian man like Ali them who is suffering black people to go and change the black man in thing? Because I let the people start so he left there, bro. And the house and the Melanie don't need no remodeling. but they didn't want, they're not like me. They should have asked me the question, who gonna own all these buildings when you rip down we house and put up all these engagements?
Yeah.
Who gonna own it?
Yeah.
Bro, protect James Bond, all y'all is doing the crap, cause y'all pulling down Chinese, especially the black folk.
Big up yourself.
Tell you, I dare listening.
People sussing them out, you know. We sussing it out and analyzing what's going on. John is saying this. You see, speaking the truth is what this administration doesn't want, and continue to hide the truth from young Guyanese will always toll it or not. Right? As they try to hide the truth, persons are still figuring out what's going on. We still analyzing what's taking place. As youths, right? They can't sell me no dream. Big up yourself to Honorable Mr. Wade. He was highlighting these insights recently.
First and foremost, thank you for being out here today, and we would like to ask you, what are your thoughts about the charge of the 3 men, and 2, the government's recent appointment of the 5-member commission? Do you have confidence in the commission?
Permit me to congratulate you and the young people for this event that you have out here. It shows that the young people in Guyana are in tune. This is not a political event. It shows that our young people are saying no more that we will stay behind. It is saying that our young people are saying that we will lead. So I congratulate you, sir, and all of the other young people that are out here today for standing up for justice, for standing up for what is right. So I commend you once more. I commend the young people. I commend you for this brave move. I know it was not easy for you young people to organize, and because you are aware of the victimization and the marginalization for the young people of Guyana to come out. And this is a victory for us already. And this is something that coming out of this event is one of the positives, to see the young people taking the forefront in this fight. And I congratulate you all. In relation to your question, your first question is the charges of murder. I believe the charges are for murder nonsensical. I reminded some folks earlier about the Yancey Douglas issue, where they charge you without any evidence. It will not stick in court. There was no basis for these charges. Murder requires an intent to kill. You must have the thought to kill or to commit some other crime. In this case, there were no conspiracy by these people. They did not designed to come and kill these people. There was none of that, based upon what I have read and seen in the news. I've seen none of that. They did not design to go and carry out a robbery on that vessel. They did not sabotage it in any way. They were not raping people on the boat went down and sink. So I cannot fathom the basis of the DPP decision to charge for murder. What I can say,
a lot of persons analyzing it and want to know what's really going on with the judgment, because we see nothing similar as we analyze what's going on around the world, even, Big up yourself to Alpha highlighting what went down recently in New York when the vessel sank, and we see similar charges. So what's really going on with us in Guyana? Swan Girl, thanks for being a part of this live presentation and for being a frequent traveler with us on Delta9 Media. Swan Girl is saying the mayor from NY is President Ali's advisor. I'm telling you. Marcia is saying Ali and the VP want us to stop talking about the farm and the MV Barima. Aye, aye, aye. I don't know how that's going to be possible because persons are paying attention and we're paying attention to the very important headlines. And these are very important things. Very, very important because if we allow these things to slide, what's going to be next? Floyd is saying, big up Delta9 family and friends, viewers. Thanks for tuning in and for being a frequent flyer on this live presentation, Floyd. Thanks again for dropping insights into the comment section. Insightful commentary. Insights like some of the insights we're about to hear from Honorable Mr. Best, who's highlighting these details right here.
One side wins, the other side suffers. If we're ever going to achieve one people, one nation, one destiny, or the
Greetings, you're on to Delta9 Media Live.
Greetings, Delta.
What's going on, bro?
I listened. Yeah, how are you doing, bro?
Good, can't complain, man. How you doing?
All right. Yeah, I was listening to one of your earlier traveler there saying, Farad being the vice president. You know, I listened to more than one person. Once I heard Nigel London said the same thing. The Constitution of Guyana does not have an opening for a VP, right? This man just went and inserted himself in there, and he calls, plays the VP. The thing is that, the politicians, the opposition, they're allowing things to slide. They should know the Constitution, and they should have never allowed that. They should have put up a big stink when this man put himself there, right? So that's where I'm saying I think the opposition needs to put up a better fight and don't allow these things to slide. Also I saw something last night or the night before. They had it called an Amerindian pageant where they were selecting, next month is the Amerindian Heritage Month, whatever.
Yeah.
And they had a pageant, bro, and the people were modeling and they were, crowning. They have crowning of an Amerindian queen and whatever for the month. In the meantime, Afro-Guyanese and others are standing up and fighting for what happened with that Barima tragedy. The Amerindians are having a pageant. This is so sad, right? And again, the government, they're just bowing their way through everything, bro. Even with that CCJ stuff, these guys have got so much money, they can just buy their way there. Not only in the CC, but anything. That COI, that's going to be another sellout also. That's something also, I think, with that COI, even the opposition, they should create some more stink about that whole COI stuff. That's going to be just a formality and clear this whole thing, and it's done. Also, they're taking so long to make a decision on raising that vote. The longer they take to bring that vote up, more excuses they're going to have.
That's
whatever they discover.
Because watch, the offer was made by the leader of the opposition, and persons are talking about this sending out a 10-year to see what part. Like, come on, you got a person that's already in leadership saying, listen, I'm willing to foot the cost to take care of this, to make sure that, persons get some type of closure. Why not take that opportunity? Why leave it there and then leave everything to the elements? Where's going to be the justice in that when persons got to, persons are already in jail and then you got a COI going on? What's really going on?
And again, the longer they leave it there, then they're going to blame the elements for whatever, they come up and say there's a hole or there's something. They're going to say, well, it's the water and
there's
whatever,
no way to
happens,
determine directly and all kind of thing.
Right. Also, bro, I'm seeing there's so many deaths and people are dying like crazy in Guyana. I saw two guys last week, stab up each other, like at Georgetown. 2 persons died. Then in Berbice, I saw another 3 people die in accidents. Like death in Guyana means nothing. It's just crazy. Also, I saw Campbell there, Honorable Campbell. He revealed something about Dharam Lal getting all these contracts. Nigel Dharam Lal,
sitting in the background, right?
Right. All those whatever village they're saying and all these things they're doing. Like Darren, man, he may get all the contracts to do all the concrete work, to pour all the concrete, you know. Like, bro, there's certain people in Guyana who is getting all these contracts. If you look at some other thing, I saw there was a tender for something. I saw there's a company called Jack Mohan. Then there's a Cameron's Knot. There's a Jack Parks. There's a group of people, bro, who are getting all the tenders and who are getting this thing is passed around, you know, amongst a set of people. Also, I see there's some U.S. guy has gone into Guyana, the U.S. whatever. He's going out to try to get U.S. to start mining bauxite in Guyana, which is good. But you know what? The Chinese has got the monopoly on the bauxite right now. So it's going to be a fight between the Chinese and the Americans. Yeah. But they're going to be surprised when the Chinese going to start to produce documents and say, we own this and we own that and we own that. That same story with Sue and that lady, that girl that exposed Bharat. Yeah. You're going to be surprised to see how much stuff the Chinese own in that country. I'm telling you, right? You know, and I look around, bro, Guyana, like Friday night they had something at the stadium. Then Saturday night they had, I saw they have wrestling in Guyana right now, bro, wrestling. Then I saw there was
they bring out the full menstrual show like they used to do back in the days, right? Whenever they got stuff going on that they want to distract persons, they would bring out all of these different things to keep them engaged in anything other than focusing on the issues at hand. Things that are going to affect us and our generations, you know. I'm telling you.
Okay, then I saw they had a rock and roll concert, rock heavy metal, rock and roll stuff in Guyana. Like all of these, you know, bro, at times I feel Guyana right now is getting like Sodom and Gomorrah. It's like anything goes, right? And it's only a matter of time before they all might say, you know, enough is enough. With some of the stuff that's going on, some of the things I see in that country, bro, I remember Sodom and Gomorrah, honestly, right? And we are hoping nothing bad will happen.
That's not the reality, because we all know how that ended up in accordance with the biblical representation. Right?
Exactly. I saw there was an earthquake in Colombia, a 7.4 earthquake, right? So things are around there. So, bro, I'm hoping, and I hope, you know, we don't get a rude awakening, right? But you know, one side of the country, people are celebrating, people are having weddings, people are having like, so, you know, it's like there's no one Guyana, as the man say one, there's no one Guyana, bro. It's if you're on the right side or if you are connected, it's like a connected Guyana who you're connected to, man. Very, very sad.
But the thing is this, we're the people and the power is with the people to make the change. God, we could speak on it, you know, but when it comes down to the time to put the right people in the positions of power, the right decisions got to be made and the steps got to be taken even before to make sure that the voters list is in place and everything is in place for them to get free and transparent elections so that the right things could be done moving forward, because it's clear that we could see is a one-sided situation and people getting worse is not putting people first. Certain people getting worse, that's what's going on. You know, thanks for calling in and for dropping them insights with us right here on the line.
Okay, bro.
Big up yourself to all of the frequent travelers, people who analyze these situations with us live. Greetings, we're on to Delta9 Media Live.
Blessing love, blessing love, it's family, blessing love, the Adrian. The brother was
okay. Good man, thanks for calling in. What's going on your side?
Yeah, man, I tried family last.
Yeah?
Yeah, man, everything good.
Yeah.
Lightning thunder, brother, I just called it just for you, brother. How Chinese will listen to. Brother, you're realizing that Chinese is. You're realizing that, brother? Chinese right now is Guyana.
Yeah, but the thing about it that we gotta realize, right? Even as we analyzing this whole thing now, what we gotta realize is that one of the ethnic races of Guyana is the Chinese. So the fact that they got that amount of unity amongst themselves and they're able to do what they're doing, other ethnicities should be taking a page and looking into doing and connecting with one another in commerce so that we could leverage some of these advantages, understanding that they're getting certain benefits from the Chinese banks and these other, developments that they're going to get from China. But still, we got to remember the Chung, we got to remember 6 ethnicities, right? And Chinese is one of them. Just being real.
Yeah. There's only 2 ethnicities here.
Mm-hmm.
Black and full, straight up.
Okay.
You understand me, brother?
Mm-hmm.
It's only them two that be affected, bro. No other body don't come out, no other, you don't hear nothing. It's we that there is affected.
Okay. The 2 largest ones.
Yeah, whoever hear any Chinese man, cutting any Chinese man or any different mix. People them cutting anybody and yeah. This is only black and fully a fuck on, bro. And that's what I'm saying. We so divided, so that's why it's like, you are saying for good and one saying there within the right people them. There's this. The 2 Guyana guys right now is a paper tournament starts in all the region. One Guyana paper and them things. So the share distraction and CTLs around the car now.
Yeah.
Just so everybody in the backwards, man. Everybody will forget for the Barima. Everybody will start coming out and celebrating. There's all Guyana as well, bro. They listen.
I'm telling you. Big up yourself, King. Thanks for calling in. Frequent traveler saying, hey, just now it's going to be business as usual. What y'all think, Delta9 travelers? What are your views? Let me hear some of what the leader of VPAC is highlighting.
The one Guyana that this government speak to, we must change the way we do things. What we've seen unfold lately is far from democracy. Democracy, people must not stop by having an election every 5 years. When you have one side with a majority, then what happens to the people on the side that would have lost? Are we now saying democracy means...
Greetings, you're on to Delta9 Media. Greetings, you're on to Delta9 Media Live. Hello? Guess we lost that call.
Office using his majority and only focusing or catering to the people who
Greetings, you're on to Delta9 Media Live.
For them. If we're ever going to move beyond,
that is on WhatsApp. The same number.
Okay.
Yeah.
The issues that we are faced with today, we must change the way we do things. Politicians flip inside. One day, the politician has a problem with the sitting government. The next day, he's on the other side defending the same things that he too had a problem with. Let us put those problems aside and start focusing on the lives of our Guyanese people. Why are the opposition in the street today? Rightfully so. There's 100 and something lives that was lost. Is the government is this an autocratic government? Are you not expecting an opposition? Is the opposition supposed to go down the road and see the drain is not properly done and not speak to it? Is a government supposed to promise the people in a manifesto and not deliver, and the opposition is supposed to be silent about it? Is the government supposed to win an election and only focus on the people who voted for that government? What happened to the others? And this goes to all the political parties. Again, I am proposing we would have spoken to share governance on multiple occasions. All of the politicians in Guyana right now have something to offer. But moreover, they were elected by the people. And it is unfair, that is what's undemocratic, to have any government any government, and I'm not speaking just to the PPP or the sitting government, to ever feel that because I am the winner of the day, the opposition shouldn't have a voice. This has been a curse on Guyana for as long as we all can remember. And it's about time we move away from that. Just believe that you are there only to represent the people who have elected you, who you feel would have voted for you, or this strong old politics. Guyana is unique, people. And our democracy must also be unique. I am calling on the government of the day. I am calling on the oppositions of the day. There's only one opposition, but it's split up into multiple parties. Air finale, while you're still in the driver's seat, it is clear that your government would have failed in multiple ways.
It's just obvious at this point in time. I'm trying to do this whole grooming thing, and so it's not working out all the time. Nevertheless, with regards to Guyana, I just need to make one point clear. Devin Singh does not support any political party. None of them right now. Nope. I don't think I'll ever be supporting the opposition, the leader of the opposition and his party, because I don't think I'll be able to support all the things that he stood for before. I'm not saying that people can't change. Everybody could change. There's time till the next elections is yet to be decided. That's not what really I came to talk about. What I came to just mention very quickly is that based on the messages I am getting on social media, on Facebook, etc., the problem that Guyanese have, and this is not just people of African descent, there's a lot of Indian people. The problem that they have is that they're losing faith in the party. People are seeing it for what it actually might be, and that they are not just calling the leadership of the party corrupt. And I'm not saying that the leadership of the party is corrupt. Right now, that's up to the people, because it's the people that have to vote for you. What seems to be the common thing being said is that they are losing, the party is losing credibility because of the fact that so much of the ministers and the people that are directly under the ministers, or certain ministers, are highly corrupt, and that it's too much. So for example, I'll give you an example. The small contractor that started doing business and was doing good for a year can't afford to do good anymore because he has to pay too much bribes. So if this goes to one ministry, and we're talking about public works, obviously, right? It goes to a lot of other ministries as well. And this is the reason, and this is the thing that people generally are losing faith in the system for, because unless you pass bread, you're not going to get anywhere. So quite simply put, unless the PPP eradicates some level of the corruption, and it starts from the top, right? It starts from the top. Some of the ministers that are, for example, the two ministers that are being called to resign, it's not just for the recent incident. There are many reports of corruption from these men before, right? And there are people in the PPP right now that are questioning, and I know this because I can show conversations, but I won't do that to people. There are people that sit as a member of parliament right now, members of parliament right now in the PPP, that do not understand why it is that Edgil and Indar still sit in that position in parliament right now. I am not going to throw anybody down under the bus, right? I'm not going to do that to them. These are people that trusted me over time. Before I started coming on social media and after, so I appreciate that. But if the own people have lost faith in them, how do you think the people that voted for them feel? So I'm calling on the president and the vice president and the leadership of the party to actually do something about the corrupt
people who coming out on the streets and call themselves scripts and all kind of thing. Because of your weak mentality, Y'all weak. You can't talk to a stranger. A stranger do you bullshit. And you can't tell a stranger you wrong. How the hell you can talk to you old if you can't talk to a stranger? Stupidness. 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 You must never talk to anybody on the outside. And I'm saying it this morning. You guys, y'all live such a fair life. Y'all so fair. Why is we got people who's fearless? Y'all fear y'all own self. How y'all could be good leaders? How y'all could be good teachers for y'all cheering them? Why y'all fear people who oppressing y'all? Tell me. You got to know, people oppressing you. People do you all kind of thing. And you still fearing the same set of people? Y'all some chicken. Y'all some chicken. Y'all some cockroach. Y'all some hardback beagle. Y'all all the names. Y'all some chigger. Y'all some fearless crook. You can't produce, you can't talk your them. Because you're frightening the government. You're frightening people who got flesh and bones like yourself. The only person supposed to fear in this life there is God. And if you can't understand that it's God alone you got to fear, you have to step out. Ask for a zap. Take a zap. Take a zap. Go somewhere else and live. Take a zap. The only person you're supposed to fear is God. But if you fear anything more, that means that there's something else you praising. Something else you praising, people. Y'all move away from this ignorance. Move away from this ignorance and ask God for real guidance. Not for y'all don't pray, no. Y'all don't pray, and this is why y'all got some weak spirits hanging in y'all souls. Y'all get weak spirits hanging in y'all souls. But if y'all be this true, sincere prayer, if y'all be this person who pray, not pray because you want to pray, pray and ask God for real guidance. And real guidance would come to you. And God would put the real person in you to be fearless. God would place that strong person in you to be fearless. But enough of y'all don't pray. I now see why y'all weak. Y'all just pray to Barak Jagdio. Y'all just pray to Irfan Ali. Because I hear people come right for this program here. People like Okani Blair was supposed to be, a well-educated person telling me that Barak is some God. Okani Bai, I'm sorry for you. Anything you see happening to you in life is because of the statement that you made. Anything you see happening to you in life, anything you see happening to you in life is because of the statement you made, friend. You made some wrong statement. There's no one else who could replace God's place. No one else.
But this whole outreach that this government get around Guyana is another distraction because it's taxpayers' money the government using to fund this outreach. The president is not using his salary. It's our money the president is using to come to lie to us. The outreach is a distraction not to pull up the ship because we would be busy listening to all of the promises. So the outreach is to distract us. The outreach is to tire out Mohamed because Mohamed would have to go on these different locations because it's his role as the opposition. So that basically they're tiring out Mohamed. They're trying to drain him spiritually. They're fooling the Guyanese people This whole outreach thing is just this is another big scam. Millions of dollars was spent these couple days for transportation, for meals, and the PPP pay a lot of people. They pay people for go with them. They pay people for follow them around. Bodyguard, different millions of dollars. And all these monies could have gone towards bringing up the ship. Because this whole incident started from bringing up the ship. We didn't want the outreach. The president went around villages to see things that he would have known that was broken, damaged. These things that the president went to see around the country is things that me, he, and you know need fixing from since Barnum time, from since Cherry time. Why is it the government in your village at this time when we need them under the water? Answer this question for me. Poor people, we need to wake up. Our president cannot develop a village, another village, another village, another village. How they could do all of that? Where they getting the money from? They don't have money for do simple things. How could they develop all these villages? It's senseless. We have to wake up. This is a distraction. My village, as I would have mentioned, everything is unkept. How could they bring a village up to standard now? And it's unkept for the last 30 years. How could they do it to Linden? How could they do it to Borbies? How could they do it to Timeri? It's impossible. This is a big scam.
See, there is none I see that the minister them was on there, or the president was there, or any big one for the party was there. There is none I see. The only person I see there it was Mohamed and a few of the boats, right? And still people are seeing that the president is doing his best. He is doing his best. How can he do his best when only couple of people alone save till next morning with all the helicopter we country get, all the boats, all the everything? There was no proper early search that you're gonna save some lives. One guy saved 11 persons. He's a hero. Those people who I see that saying that that the president is doing as much as he can, and the president is doing spending the tax money, our tax money, because I just pay tax, our tax money for do road, for do farm, for do school, and do all things. They want $1,000 that we get. He collect me on yet. But they want $1,000 that we give to the people them. It's tax, our tax money. Our tax money come back to give. So there was no oil money or no gold money. That's our own tax we receive. And still you have supply that you can see and observe. I have been to high school. I make a man like me who hardly go to school. Got more sense than I do. And observing more. It's touchful. It's touchful to see the president for our country, the ministers them, and the entire PPP party from prayers right down. Nobody care for the small ones, nobody love us, nobody care for us. When at a rally, they come, they haul up on the vice, telling our horse. Only left for telling our pull the moon and the sun down and put them inside your hand. Vote for me. Promise everybody $200,000 to June last election time, right? $200,000. He gave us only $100,000. And as I said, I know it was me alone, got belly, but I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I mean, work too much places, I see too much of fuckery, too much a robbery. Imagine the oil is in our country and we having 2%. 2%. And you're going to stand up for justice, especially for Adrian Young and that boat. Adrian Young, guy and gun, no justice in serve. No justice in serve. That child died and gone. Nobody get jail, nobody get no punishment. Everybody free. As well, the next president of this country, I will advise him bring back hanging, bring back stone to fucking death. And people who are fucking stone you, the people who you wrong, the family are stone to fucking death. Fuckery gonna stop.
The stress could sometimes make you plug out. I'm telling him, you hear the brothers highlighting certain details, you know, I say, hey, I have to deal with this too many times in too many situations. And a number of things that you would like to see change in the country. You think is one set of people alone analyzing this thing? Listen. Ethnicities, more than one. Different age group, we analyzing it. And we realizing that, listen, Matson really Matson.
I want to know if you want the president of this country mind people. I want to know. Y'all listen to me, man. Think about it. You have no other president or government ever be so down to earth like President Ali. No way in history of Guyana. I'm not a man with politics and all them things. And like I said, I'm not a social being a man, but enough is enough. I'm so hungry when I see certain things going on. Right? The first thing, I respect this man so much, President Ali. I live close to Jamadar Bridge. Right? I was in Golden Grove, where I'm from. I was coming home at like 2 something in the morning. Right? When I was doing the roundabout. My Ogle roundabout here by US Highway. And I saw this man body in a long boot, 2 something in the morning. Come out to make sure you check the work. To make sure that work being done the right way. Who other president do such a thing in the world? Think about it. Recently, I was working with Boca Ride service. Anyway, with the best taxi service in Guyana. I was transporting a young lady from Trinidad. And she told me how she liked President Ali so much in Trinidad and was trying to do a petition for see President Ali could come and govern fucking Trinidad country, bro.
Hi, Lord. Hi, Lord. You got a story from, man. Where you get a story from, buddy? Who is from Trinidad right now? Drop it in the comment section. Somebody was from Trinidad that was on the flight. Y'all believe this is, sir? Greetings. 1 second, Adrian. This big boy is saying that Trini is saying they're looking for President Ali to come and govern Trinidad, how they love him so much. Who from Trinidad in the live right now? Drop it in the comment section if y'all believe in what this big man saying right here. Or if he's selling dreams. Greetings, dear.
Yeah, my brother.
Yeah.
I want to hear young man called TBC names you could spell it.
I tell you.
Because I believe in that here.
I know.
Yeah, singing.
Man said,
You understand me, brother?
Trinidad one.
Now, if you have 65 members
yeah.
in your area, And you telling me you as the president got to let you back to come out to see what was going on. Do you see you govern the country you alone? It's just to show his dictatorship. You understand me, bro?
Yeah.
Because what the rest of ministers doing? Then now you postpone you, but you come out. When you come out, you got the camera behind you. People is closed. You understand me, bro? People is closed. You come out here, the president comes to London. And what happened after that? Did the issue fix? Did the flooding stop? What recommendations does he make?
Yeah.
These people stupid, boy. You understand me, bro? Bro, one thing I keep saying all the time, bro. I don't care who is the president, you know. But you know what the president must do for his citizen? Is make the citizen comfortable, bro. You understand?
Real thing.
Security, everything, infrastructure, everything.
Yeah.
And you must live in love and peace.
Real thing.
And what is doing fulfilling, you can't be president for no country, bro. Because look, every time something happens, everybody looking at the president.
Yes.
So if you as the president stand up and make everybody make it smart and get brave, 6 years now you governing the country. This is the second term, my brother. And you ain't do no infrastructure properly. Almost 50,000 people still looking for land and house. And you telling people now, you come here to August to tell people they can get house and land by December. Who is this from listening to this, man? They're listening, bro.
Real thing. Calling a spade right here on this live presentation. We analyzing and we going through. Nav Joe, thanks for tuning in to this live presentation. Plus, for being a frequent traveler and a loyal supporter to Delta9 Media. We appreciate you, bro. Thanks for tuning in. Roderick, big up yourself. George, we're going on. Thanks for being a part of the live. That guy has to smoking the most stupid weed. Who's the guy? George Prince. Who's the guy that you're referring to? Ashmini, thanks for being a part of the live presentation. No racial language on the flight. Definitely, we don't want no person bringing that kind of racial perspective to the flight. We want persons to leave with a good vibe and a good understanding as we come together. We might not all have the same views, but we could respect one another in the end of the day. So we want to get onto them kind of thing with racism and them thing. No, man, we want to go to them type of levels there on the flight. There's too low for the flight to be able to commute. If you're flying so low, you're going to hit the ground and cause damages. We ain't going so low in the flight. No racism on the flight, please and thank you. Edmond is saying good night, Delta9 and others. On the flight, thumbs up the live, please. As you get on to the flight, I'm telling you. Thanks for reminding them, Edmond. Pick up yourself every time. Thanks for being a frequent traveler with us. Does the leaked CCJ emails undermine confidence in the regional court? 83% is saying yes. 17% is saying no. What are you saying, Delta9 travelers? That's the poll question of the day for this live presentation. Do the leaked CCJ emails undermine confidence in the regional court? It's undermining a lot of confidence from my perspective. And as we analyze other things coming out of that recent dispute that's going on, where 5 of the persons is reporting the other one, is things that we definitely want to analyze, you know. and it's definitely undermining confidence in persons when we analyzing these things and the revelations that we get in. Big up to all of the frequent travelers, all of the persons who are here with us, traveling with us for the first time, right? Thanks for tuning in to this live presentation.
No matter where in the world, we love Guyana. What are your colors? How do you represent? I love Guyana. Order yours today. We ship worldwide. Delta9 Media.
One love, one people, the mission complete. One love, one flag, one nation, right? Under the stars, divine presence in the sky. Unity, no war, let the children thrive. Power to the people, we keep hope alive.
A natural way to stay ready, baby. 'Cause I'm ready for you, Mr. C. The ultimate male supplement. Men's total wellness formula. Packed with essential nutrients for men's health. She'll call you Mr. C.
Statement is stating its truth, then you and the rest of government officials who was responsible for the MV Barima being in service till the day of her tragedy, y'all should be charged for murder, attempted murder, negligence, misbehaving in public office, and any other charges y'all could be slapped with, not the captain and crew. It's because of your greed and negligence, ignoring the safety and security concerns and importance of this vessel.
Yeah, they were Trinidad saying about what's going on with the MV Barima. All this brother selling me dreams, but Trini saying they want President Ali come and govern them and that kind of thing. Yeah, what Trini saying about what's going on with the MV Barima. Guess they might have similar perspectives about the power, about the person in ultimate power right now.
Led to her tragedy. Edge Hill and T&HD senior management overturned the recommendation by Marad Safety Division in 2025 to condemn and decommission MV Barima. By all means, this vessel was to be out of service. I had to sit and ask myself if it's sacrifice, y'all sacrificing people, because y'all could never say y'all care for the people of Guyana. Y'all could never say y'all care for Guyanese citizens. Never. And to every citizen or employee whom is responsible for the safety and security of other people's lives, stand up for your rights. Voice your opinions and concerns. Let it be heard. I know when a lot of y'all go to your superior and report an issue or a problem, they turn around and threaten you. What happened? You don't want to work? Or you want to work? If you don't want to work, we go find a replacement. Don't forget, you take out a loan to buy a piece of land. If you lose your work, you go lose your land. And the SUV you're paying for on terms. Yeah, you still have 6 more years to pay for that. And you have a newborn baby. You have a child to feed. If you lose your work, how you going to take care of your picnic them? People, stand up for your rights. Gather evidence, video, pictures. When all you go to have a meeting, put all your phone in all your pocket and voice record them. And when all you walk away from that job, get somebody to release your information, because that information could help save other people's lives. Thank you.
Name is Mr. Cole, and my condolence goes out to all of the family and all who's impacted of the tragedy that happened with the Barima boat in the sea. But listen, I want to speak to the president. I'm tired of speaking to the government. The president of the government, but I'm speaking to the president directly. I want this message to get to him. What are you doing for the people that perish, that lost loved ones? What are you doing for them? What are you doing for the survivor? I know you're going to say, oh, we take up the burial. Yeah, drag line digging hole and dashing the box inside and all kind of thing and cover it. That's, if their family been lost by God's grace, by some other accident or whatever, they got to do the burial. They wouldn't do that, Mr. President. That's just a slap in their face. That's number one. What else you gonna tell me? Oh, we gonna give them money. We gonna give them money, maybe $5 million, like what happened with the fire in Beach with all them kids, them Amerindian kids and so were born up in thing. But all the parents them maybe they get $5,000, $5 million, and y'all just forget about it. But here what I want to really, really know, what are you doing for the people them who lost everything? Look at this two picture. I like two persons. From the whole church, I pick out two of them. Not pick out two of them. Yes, I pick out two of them. That's a demonstration. That man on the screen at the bottom there, he lost his wife and his whole family. He had nothing left. That young lady on the screen at the top, she lost 7 of her kids. Her whole family gone. There's no amount of money could bring back her 7 kids. When she wake in the morning and walk around the house calling for one of them, there's no answer, Mr. President. You know what the first thing these people need? Comfort. Know the first thing these people need? Yes, you need to buy a house and give them so they could live inside, but there's no kids, nobody going with them. They need counseling. That's the most important thing. They need, did you set up a counseling for them could go? Do you set up a place where they could stay? Do you have that? I am just asking for all of who is impacted. Do you have a counseling center? A place where they could go and rest their head? A place where people could monitor them? Do you have that? I'm just asking. Please let me know if you do. Share this live video. It's very important. These people need counseling. That's a force before talking about money and all kind of stuff. They need counseling.
Telling you so many things as we analyze this tragedy, you know, and we keep it on the front burner because there's a lot of distractions that coming up. You know, there's certain headlines that I didn't even get to touch on yet, with the whole cancellation of the TJ concert and all of them things. So much concert and shows and artists coming into Guyana right now is a love, right? And with all that we got going on, we gotta ask ourselves, why the one we so distracted? We gotta wake up to the reality, you know. Not everything that come wrong is just a normal celebration. Some of these things is real distraction, so that you could keep distracted and not paying attention to what's really taking place. Shamar is saying, greetings Delta9 family and viewers watching and listening from Jamaica International Digital Connection. Big up yourself and big up everybody in Jamaica tune into this live presentation. If you watch the CCJ conclusions and rulings on the Mohammed case, as soon as the ruling was announced, Anil make a call. As soon as the ruling was announced and he'll made a call. Right? You see how persons analyzing what's going on? And then now we're hearing all of this back and forth with what's going on with the CCJ. The fact that the leader was the only one that voted for second, third, not second, but third, fourth, fifth, and sixth term presidency in Guyana. He was one of the only persons that voted for that. Back then, more crumbs leading we on a trail that making we analyze like what really taking place. You know? I want to say a special thank you to everybody that was a part of this live presentation. We covered so many headlines. We didn't get through covering every single thing so far on this live. We still got other things that we could update one another with, but we're going to save that for another live presentation. You know why? We already been live for more than 2 hours now so far, you know. We want to make this live so long that persons don't want to rewatch the presentations. It's important that you hit that thumbs up button. If you made it to this part of the live, you should be subscribed by now, buddy. It don't cost you nothing. Join the team and subscribe and be a part of everything that we got going on right here on Delta9 Media. It don't cost you nothing to subscribe, you know. It don't cost you nothing to subscribe, buddy. And if you're looking to make a financial donation, a financial contribution to the channel, then consider becoming a channel member. The barcode is up on the screen right there, right? So become a channel member. Support Delta9 Media in a real way. It's not nothing big, it's inexpensive, but every little bit counts and every little bit adds up to supporting everything that we got going on right here. Independent media, Delta9 Media. Big up yourself. Everybody that was a part of the live, all the frequent travelers, all the moderators, everybody that was live with us for the first time, thanks for tuning in. Ashmini, big up yourself. Thanks for being a part of this live presentation and for being a frequent traveler with us. Ashmini said, Anil is a mockery. I'm telling you. Calling it out. Persons calling it out internationally, persons calling it out locally. George is saying that's a joker, bro. Who said Ali is the president for Trinidad? Yeah, I know ain't nobody in Trinidad saying they want Ali come and be the president for them. Like, who you trying to tell that? I know if you feel we don't pay attention to the headlines over here, George, but we pay careful attention, and we could clearly see that you're trying to sell me a dream. And we ain't sleeping, we wide awake. How you sell me them kind of dreams? You're not gonna fall for it. Yeah. Big up to all of the frequent travelers again. All the persons that can catch this one in the rewind in the future. Thanks for being a part of this live presentation. And thanks again for spending some time with us right here on Delta9 Media. We will be live again in the AM. So make sure that you tune in 8 a.m. tomorrow, where we will have another live presentation, keeping updated with all of these headlines and more, connecting headlines to these very important things that are going on right now. We hear about this earthquake that went down in Colombia. We didn't get to go into that. Plus, we want to highlight certain details about what went down with that recent sinking of that vessel in New York and compare it to what's going on in Guyana, right? We're going to analyze some of the details and stuff like that early in the morning. We got some more headlines as well that more than likely is going to come in. So make sure you stay tuned. Make sure that you're subscribed. And I want to say a special thank you yet again to everyone that can hear my voice. Thanks for making this live what it is. Thanks for tuning in and spending some time with us on Delta9 Media. One love. And I'll catch you in the next live presentation or pre-recorded video. Big up yourself every single time. International digital connection. The flight landed. So make sure you get your luggage, subscribe, and thumbs up the presentation so everybody can get a chance to see what we're talking about right here. You understand? Big up yourself.
100% wild crafted CMOS. Only the best, because you deserve
nothing less. 8 Butterfly.